We're joined on the line right now by another very special guest, Danny Tarkanian. He's running for Congress in Nevada's 3rd Congressional District. It's probably the biggest House battleground district in the country. Danny Tarkanian, thanks for joining us tonight on Breitbart News Sunday.
Well, Matt, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, so I want to talk to you about Susie Lee, your Democratic opponent, and her connections with Nancy Pelosi. So, as I understand it, Nancy Pelosi has been spending a lot of time on the Las Vegas Strip doing these fundraisers in these fancy hotels and stuff, right? Like with Susie Lee, and Susie Lee seems to be focused on doing Nancy Pelosi's bidding rather than trying to represent the people of Nevada's 3rd Congressional District. How close are they?
Well, they're very, very close, and she's very close with Harry Reid, and both of those two are doing a tremendous job in raising money for Susie Lee, and they're doing it through all the far-left liberal organizations. They've really centered their attention on getting the national liberals to donate to her campaign, and she turned in a great number this last quarter. She raised $500,000. Mm-hmm. But, the Democrats got a huge advantage, which I'm not sure why the Republicans haven't found anything to counter it. The Democrats have something called Act Blue, which is a national PAC of small donors, and people like Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid will tell the national PAC to have their small donors contribute to this candidate or that candidate. In the last election, when I ran against Jackie Rosen for the U.S. Congress in the same district, they raised $600,000. One-third of all the money Jackie Rosen raised was for this organization. This last quarter, Susie Lee raised $200,000 of her $500 from that. That's 40% of her money. So, it gives a big advantage. And for, us Republicans and conservatives that want to come in and beat the Democrats and hold on to the House and pursue President Trump's America First agenda, we're at a big disadvantage.
Yeah, so now, Danny, one of the things that obviously you've been endorsed by President Trump. He fully supports your campaign. This district really could hinge the House majority. Nevada's 3rd. It's in the suburbs there of Vegas, right? It's yes. This district. With all of the House majority up in the air, the question of whether or not the House Republicans or the Democrats. Can you just put into context for people how important it is that this district go to you, you'll be the Republican nominee after the primary's over. But the fact is there's a couple of small candidates out there or whatever. But the fact of the matter is that how important it is that you win this race in November.
Well, this is one of the few, if only, districts that the Republicans can switch from Democrat control to Republican control. So when the Democrats say they got to take back 24 House seats that the Republicans hold, if I win this seat, and I'll be the favorite getting into the general election, it'll make the Democrats lose one and give another one on the Republican side. So it's very, very big, and there aren't a lot of them out there. Most of these House seats are gerrymandered so that they're safe seats for one party or the other. This is a district that President Trump won by 1%. It's gone Republican 7 out of the last 9 elections. It's one that I should win if I have the support and the backing of the Republican Party. And with President Trump coming out and endorsing my campaign and seeing the support I'm getting throughout the district, we feel really good about our chances.
Mm-hmm. And so now, issues-wise, one of the things we ask every candidate, and I know you support it, is whether or not they support the border wall and what you can do when you get to Washington to help President Trump get that wall up. So tell us what you're going to do if you get elected to get that border wall built.
I'll be a firm and a reliable vote to get that border wall built. The lady I'm running against, Susie Lee, she is for free open borders. She doesn't want to have any borders, not just a wall. She wants to let anybody cross over into her country at their free whim. She's for sanctuary cities, and she wants to turn Clark County into sanctuary county. Complete difference in our feelings about immigration.
Earlier in the show, Danny, we were discussing the Armenian Genocide Remembrance Day, which is, of course, this Tuesday, April 24th. You're an Armenian American. How significant is this to you that Donald Trump officially recognized this horrible event, which has been ignored by U.S. presidents for, almost 40 years?
Well, how significant it is I'm about to go speak at the Armenian Genocide commemoration in just a few minutes. There's hundreds of Armenians here at a park that they have a genocide memorial set up. I had not heard that President Trump came out and officially recognized it. It's been so unfortunate that the leaders of the free world here in the United States have failed to recognize the genocide. It was the first and arguably the most expansive genocide in the 20th century, when 75% of all Armenians were killed by the Ottoman soldiers in the early 1900s. It's something that should be recognized. It's something the Turkish government ought to recognize. They don't have to say that they follow those beliefs or they still think that they thought it was the right thing to do, but they certainly should recognize it happened and take appropriate steps to make sure that this never happens again in our world.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Learning from our past is always going to help us for the future. All right, folks. Danny, thanks for calling in. I appreciate you taking the time today.
Yeah, and Danny, where can people go to learn more about you, get in your campaign, and get involved in the process?
Yeah, please go to our website. It's tarknv.com. That's tarknv.com. And listen, there's a clear difference between myself and Susie Lee, and I know your listeners believe very strongly in the same political ideology I do, and we need all the help to get this thing done.
All right. Well, again, folks, Danny Tarkanian, he's running for Senate in the great state of Nevada.